Awesome. Now I'm going to go pee.
Chloe, what are you doing down there? I'm being fat. A minute to spare? Shit. One more time. That coffee ran through me. Do it, man. Real quick. I cleaned that toilet. It was looking a little sketch. I was like, dude.
How's the old chat looking? Here we go. Get ready for what's probably the greatest entertainment news talk show out of Austin, Texas. Get ready for everything entertainment news and talk. And now, here's your host, Clint Baker. Hey, what's up, gang? We're back. It's another episode of Everything Entertainment News and Talk. I'm going to be talking about a bunch of stuff, but I'm not going to be doing this by myself. I'm going to be doing this with my buddies. Let's get them in here. Hey-o, what's up?
Woo!
How's it going, Curtis? How's it going, Derek?
Howdy. Fantastic.
Yeah. How's it going, Zemo?
Good.
All right. Man, that's weird. So how you guys doing today?
I'm excited.
I'm doing well. Derek's excited.
I'm excited too, man. Let's talk to the chat real quick. We have one hell of a show today, man. We're going to be talking about all of the MCU stuff, all of the stuff that they announced at San Diego Comic-Con. We got crazy Warner Brothers news. There's some wild stuff happening over there, and a couple of other things, random things. So we're going to be all over the place. But let's talk to the chat real quick and say hello. Where are you guys at? There we go. Bobby, what's up? Hello, everyone. Bakertown says, hey, awesome, man. This is going to be a fun show because we're going to be talking about things that we enjoy, and that's what we do here. We talk about stuff we enjoy because there's all kinds of politics and all kinds of crazy dumb stuff out in the world. We're not here about that. We're here to talk about fun stuff, and that's what we're going to do. So before we do that, guys, do me a favor, and I got to do this. Guys, do us a favor. Give us a thumbs up if you can. And if you're enjoying this show, subscribe to the channel. If you hit that notification bell, we'll send you a reminder whenever we go on live or whenever we have a new video out. If you want to help support the channel, you can go to patreon.com/ClintLikesEverything. If you can't remember that, there's a link in the description. And lastly, if there's something you want us to talk about on the show, message me on social media. I'm the OG Clint Baker on all my socials, but you can find all this information in the description for this video. Anyway, let's get to it. Boom, let's get to it. Man, so much fun. So much fun today. Before we get into the super fun stuff, we'll talk about new stuff. Hey. A lot of us saw Gray Man. Gray Man was a fun movie. I liked it. Some people didn't like it. Some people thought it was meh. They're like, hey, I was expecting Scorsese. I just got the Gray Man. What the hell? The news isn't The Gray Man. We're not here to talk about the Gray Man movie. If you've seen it, you've seen it. If you haven't, you haven't. I personally think the mustache was one of the best parts of the movie. The Chris Evans mustache. That's some of the most talk done on this movie is about that mustache. It's beautiful. But what's crazy is that Netflix is going to make a GCU, a Gray Man cinematic universe. It's going to have spinoffs of off of this show, and I'm like, okay, cool. I mean, it was fun. And I had this conversation with a really close friend of mine, and he was like, I don't know. I liked it, but it was like, wasn't that great? And I'm like, I thought it was fantastic, and that's the big debate. It's a dumb, fun action movie, which I'm all about, but that isn't really important. What's important is that Netflix is scratching and clawing for any kind of content to put out on their streaming service. And the Russo brothers made this movie. That might be why some people are so snooty about this movie. They're like, the Russo brothers did Avengers. Surely this is going to be like the second coming. And it was just like, hey, it's a pretty good movie. But I tell you, man, it was a lot better than most Netflix movies. Have you guys seen The Gray Man? Anybody?
I started it last night, and then I needed to go to bed. I'm about halfway through. I'm enjoying it. It's an action movie.
Yeah. I'm like, Curtis, did you see it?
No, I haven't seen it yet. But it's funny to me how they're talking about these cinematic universes. Marvel kind of started the cinematic universe or the modern version of it. And the way shows are going now, especially with something like looking at the new season of Stranger Things, these cinematic universes that they're creating are just shows. They're just long shows, guys. That's what we used to call shows. It'd be like a shared universe, and it's like, well, that's just a show. And like now with show episodes being like a good 2 hours or something like that, it's like, just say you're making a new show. You don't have to like dress it up, you know? Like,
yeah. What do you
I don't know.
What do you think, Zemo?
Fair point.
Okay. Well, you know, it's a fun show, and there's like this show actually had a lot of pretty good characters in it. Ana de Armas is in it. You know, Ryan Gosling's in it. Chris Evans is in it, and there's other people in this show. The girl from Iron Fist, the Katana chick from Iron Fist. I can't remember what her name is.
It's Jessica something.
Yeah, she's badass in this show too, and there's different elements. I was hoping they'd keep her in the when they restarted the MCU, or not the Netflix stuff over with Disney, as they start to do some things with that, which we'll talk about in a little bit. But anyway, they do have some cool characters, and you could do stuff with this, and I think it's cool. And I'm like, all right, I'm in. Like, I really enjoyed it. I'm going to watch all the other stuff. In comparison with, like, what is it, Red Notice and Extraction, and there's been some other Netflix movies where it's just like, dude, why even make movies? Like, why even bother? I think the only reason they're spending money on A-list stars to make these movies is just to look like they're relevant, and they're playing with the big boys. They like want to look like they can hang with Warner Brothers and Disney and all the other big boys. So like, if we just do a bunch of series, with European actors, then like, we're not going to look relevant. But I don't think anybody cares. I really, it's funny that they're spending hundreds of millions of dollars on these things, not releasing them in the theater, not making any extra money from it. It's not like somebody's going to go subscribe to Netflix so they can see a 2 hour.
Great man.
Oh, that's a 2 hour. I don't know, Michael B. Jordan movie. I'll watch that. Like nobody. Oh, there's a Chris Evans movie on Netflix. I think I'll subscribe. Everybody's already subscribed. Like there's no. I don't know. It's just funny to me. But anyway, I didn't mean to go off on the rant on that. But another interesting thing I heard today is that MGM lost Tomb Raider. And so they're not going to be doing any more Tomb Raider movies. And now there's a bidding war. Like every major studio or streaming channel is out there trying to get Tomb Raider just because it's a recognizable IP, and that's what it's boiled down to. And this was a conversation I was having with our buddy with Clink. I was talking to our buddy Clink the other day, and it's funny because in the beginning, God created Netflix, and Netflix was the only streaming guy in town, and then it's grown, and now all these people that are licensing their shows that they own to Netflix for years and years. Now, all of a sudden, like, we just lost NCIS. We just lost Community. We just lost Seinfeld. Hey, can we re-up that? And they're like, nope, we have our own streaming service now. Like, every single show that they had, now they have a new home at the people that own them. They're like, yeah, we weren't ready, but now over the last few years, we've got our streaming services ready. So it's kind of weird. So that's why Netflix has been pushing so hard to try to get their own original content, because they realize there's going to be a time where nobody wants to lease us their content that they own because it's streaming wars. Anyway, let's talk to the chat real quick. Loving the haircut, by the way. Curtis says, Rajneesh Sharma. Raj, I haven't heard from you in a while, dude.
Welcome,
how you doing, man? Yeah. Nat says, what's up? What's up, Nat? And have been with Netflix since 2005 when only discs came. Yeah, me too. I love Netflix. I think they're great. I was talking to my mom about that too. I was like, yeah, this used to be a disc rental thing. It's pretty hilarious. The film and TV industry has always been in flux. Studios getting into the streaming game is just a good business for adapting. Yeah, the the whole entertainment and delivery of entertainment has changed from music to TV to movies to the whole thing. It's weird, and you have to adapt because technology will always win. Derek, how you been doing, man? You got cast in a play? Is that right?
I auditioned for a play,
Oh.
and I haven't auditioned for another play, but I don't know if I've been cast yet. So
Everybody out there watching, you got to send good vibes. Cross your fingers for Derek. He doesn't need it, man. He's a badass.
stop it.
Stop it. Well, let's see.
We also have Multiverse Productions and Ramblin' Pickler in the chat. Welcome, guys.
Hell yeah. Hi, Curtis.
Yeah, I think we got it,
Multiverse
man.
Productions and Ramblin'. I was born a Ramblin' Pickler. There we go. Boom. Gray Man was better than the Avengers movies.
Hot take. Hot take, right there.
That is a good hot take. Well, let's get into some fun stuff over here.
All right.
Before we get into that, I need to tell you guys to subscribe. I'm just kidding. Let's see. Let's see here. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. It just kind of funny to me. I didn't even mean for us to talk about it that long, but I'm like, all right, go for it. It was a decent show. It's a decent movie. If you haven't seen Gray Man, check it out. And I'm like, cool. Like, let's branch off of there and make some more cool content, and we'll see how. Oh, you got a hot take?
No, and the Tomb Raider thing is a good idea because I could see that the movies I haven't really been a fan of, but I could see that being a really good show. I mean, like that's more geared towards a show, I think. And
Well,
if they pull it off, whoever gets it.
It's who knows where they're going to end up, but it's not necessarily going to be a show. It might just be for a series of movies. We don't know.
That's what I mean. I just think it would be a good fit as a show. Though is what I'm saying. That like as the movies, I didn't really think they stood well on their own, but as the show, it could be more sequential, or as the game is, very sequential, very instead of chapters in the game or whatever, you have episodes. So.
What do you think, Zemo?
That's just good, yeah.
All right.
Good point.
Yeah. Well, let's get into some DC news.
Oh yeah.
Yes, sir. Man, this is exciting. DC has got some exciting stuff happening right now. I made the thumbnail, and I'm like, I might as well put the whole gang on the thumbnail, which was David Zaslav, who's the CEO of Discovery Warner Brothers, and I got Ben Affleck. We got some Ben Affleck news, and then I've got Alan Horn news, which is what we're going to get into right now. And then after we're done with the DC stuff, we're going to jump into the MCU stuff, which is why Feige's there. Look, what is that? A Batman?
Yeah.
Oh, weird. Let's talk about Alan Horn. Alan Horn, the big news. They just announced Disney former chief creative officer Alan Horn is joining Warner Brothers. Alan, I'm just going to do that every time I say his last name. Alan Horn. Oh, I'm just kidding. We're not going to do that. Okay. Who retired from Disney in 2021 after a decade at the studio, has been hired in a consultant role to help the company's newly appointed CEO, David Zaslav, the legend, in navigating the film business. He will start on August 1st. The formal announcement comes after reports that Horn had been in discussions with Warner Brothers Discovery executives and had been seen on the lot having meetings with top decision makers. I am thrilled to share with you that Alan Horn, one of the most respected studio executives in the industry, has agreed to assist me in a consultant role during this transition period. Starting August 1st, no one knows this business better than Alan does. He has had an extraordinary career spanning nearly half a century, Zaslav said in a staff memo. Most recently, he has served as chairman and later co-chairman and chief creative officer of the Walt Disney Studios, where for a period of nearly 10 years, he oversaw the production of all motion pictures and the integration of Lucasfilm and Fox Film Studios, as well as the expansion into producing content for Disney streaming services. Like, this guy was integral in a lot of the amazing things that Disney has done. Horn is very well respected and seen as one of the most honest, upstanding executives in the business. The appointment is a homecoming of sorts for Horn, who was forced out as president and chief operating officer of Warner Brothers in 2013. At Warner Brothers, Horn oversaw Harry Potter franchise and Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy. He was lured out of retirement recently and enjoyed a second act at Disney, blah, 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 blah. Basically, this dude is a badass. And what this tells me is that another badass, David Zaslav, who's going in and axing stupid projects. There's like, why is this happening? Why is this happening? And he's going in and like trimming the fat. And rather than be a typical boss, like CEO with a huge ego that thinks he knows everything, this guy's surrounding himself with winners and scooping up winners. And he's like, I'm not going to pretend that I'm can hang with all of these movie people. He came from the TV business, but you know what he can do? He can get advised by legends, and this guy's a legend. So you get one of the best guys in the game to have ever played the game to come on and be your advisor and tell you how to do things. Like, that's smart business, and it's exciting to see this because we all know, especially the Batman fans out there, that Warner Brothers has been handling things pretty sketchy. A lot of the DC stuff that's been happening since we don't even have to go down the Snyderverse rabbit hole, but there's been a lot of failures and a lot of we had AT&T doing things and too many bosses, too many people making rash decisions based on numbers and not following plans through. Very much the way politics works, to where and you get like a bad reaction or something. Oh, this didn't work. Okay, we're going to change everything. We're going to scrap everything. And what tends to happen in companies that have too many people in leadership positions, like Warner Brothers was set up with AT&T, it was hard to keep track of who was in charge of what. You know, I mean, they had so many people. What happens is people start to do things that are in their interest for their department, and somebody might have a good idea and start to do something, and then somebody else will shoot them down because it affects their bonus or their reputation, and all of a sudden you have people doing things that don't counteract each other and don't help each other. So anyway, that's how Warner Brothers ran for a long time. There was a lot of mess going on in there, and I'm excited that AT&T's out of there. You got David Zaslav in there, and he's putting smart people in important roles and getting stuff done, and that gives me hope, because you know what I want to see? I want to see some kick-ass Superman, and I know David Zaslav likes Superman. I want to see some good Batman, and let's have it. You know, we got lucky. I really like the Batman movie that came out this year, but I really love Ben Affleck, and we're gonna have some Ben Affleck news here in a second. But what do you guys think? Does it's real easy after the roller coaster we've been riding with Warner Brothers for the past several years. It's real easy to get discouraged and just kind of be like, whatever, I don't even care anymore. Does this give you some hope that maybe, despite Ezra Miller drama and all these weird things and, Mara drama and things getting pushed back, and it's a weird, transitional period, does this give you some hope? Maybe things are going to be okay at DC. We'll start with Derek. What do you think, man?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, other than the Batman movies, I mean, a lot of DC movies haven't been hitting with people for ages. Like Green Lantern, that one. I mean, I kind of enjoyed it, but it wasn't great. Like Superman Returns, there's a lot of people that didn't like Superman Returns. It just seems like they really only know what they're doing with Batman and nobody else. And now with all of this, and of course with Snyder Cut and the Snyderverse, and even since then, it's been weird. It just hasn't felt right. So yeah, I think they finally got someone that can put it all together and come up with something decent. I'm really excited, regardless of whether or not this means Snyderverse is happening or not, as long as it starts to make sense, that's all I need.
Well, even things like Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman was a home run, and then they have the follow up to Wonder Woman, and then they're like, "Oh, it's terrible." Then they like completely changed. Now it's like Patty Jenkins. It's like she's roaming the desert now that she's been ousted, and it's like They just gave her a backpack and a canteen and just left her out in the desert. They're like, I feel like it's funny how people will turn, and the fans do it, of course, but I feel like Marvel, if something like that happens, Marvel just or Star Wars even, they don't always pay attention. They'll just stick with it or release some kind of press or whatever. But
drop
Warner
a new
Brothers,
trailer and like, look at the new shiny thing.
Yeah,
new
look
over here.
Exactly, but Warner Brothers always felt like, okay, like they always do like rash decisions, and all of a sudden it's some random I don't know. Curtis, what do you think about this news? Like,
yeah, I mean, I think this seems like really good news. It's somebody, besides the fact that he's somebody who has proven success record and stuff like that, he's somebody who's just recently been in both camps, so we can get switch over talent. I mean, this is how the comic books worked when they were at their peak. Marvel and DC back and forth, stealing talent back and forth, and that they were at their best. The competition was the best, and so if Warner Brothers DC has to jump over, and Zemo, was that you?
Zemo.
If Warner Brothers DC has to steal a bunch of people from Marvel, I'm a Marvel fan. I don't necessarily want that to happen, but if it's going to make the competition better, do it. Like Phase 4 has been iffy, and people are kind of like, "Oh my God, DC Warner Brothers has been iffy for, like Derek was saying, a generation now." And I think a lot of the reason is because the DC properties have been on the back burner. They've got 50 to almost 100 years now of proven track record of stories, and they're putting them on the back burner, and they're like, we got to work on Space Jam too. Like, all right, okay. But like this is, they're starting to move forward with their DC properties and not just the big ones. But they got to right the ship a little bit, and hopefully this guy's going to be the person to do it. If they bring in Sam Elliott now, like Zemo was saying earlier, man, they're going to be fine. They will have nothing to worry about. You get Sam in there with Alan Horn and Zaslav, it's over.
And you nailed it though. That the fact that Hollywood is a lot of relationships. You know what I mean? And when you have a history of good relationships, this guy's worked with all kinds of people, and like I even heard. Who was I watching? It was John Campia's show I was watching, and he posed the question, hey, Alan Horn used to work closely with Feige. Like what do you think the chances are that Feige would end up over at Warner Brothers? And I was like, woo, that would be wild. Can you imagine and like they said over on that show, it's like, I feel like they're taking the new administration over at Disney is taking power away from him. How crazy would it be if he's like, you know what? I got y'all's foundation set up. I got all my people in place that know my plan for the next decade. You guys, I'm gonna go over here where I can do what I want. And I said, man, I was watching that show and I had to pull over. I was like, dude, can you imagine? And Feige's got a history with Richard Donner too. He used to work with Richard Donner.
Wow.
On Volcano.
I could see that happening easily. Sorry, man. But like Feige said, he'd love to have a take on Superman and Batman and the DC properties. He said before in the past he'd love it. I could see that easily occurring.
And not to mention, he's basically quarterbacked the greatest franchise in the history of cinema. You know what I mean? Like mm-hmm. To be that quarterback and then to have a new clown upstairs, taking away your freedoms and limiting you and making you report to new people. Like I'm the new boss. I want you to report to my golf buddy, who is an accountant, but I'm moving him into this production office or whatever. To me, it's like this guy's like, great. Can you just let me make the movie? Do I really gotta?
I built this, dude.
Which is which is one thing that Bob Iger did. Is he when he was in control at Disney, he saw that Feige knew what he was doing, and he's like, I need to eliminate all of the red tape and just give this guy the freedom.
Step away.
Yeah. So anyway, let's see what they're saying in the chat. What are they thinking in the chat here? The Snyder Cut is being released on Vudu this week, $14.99. Ow! A problem with Batman is that it connected with nothing. Only standalone DC movie that worked was Joker. Well, that's not true, because I think the Batman worked. The standalone movie, pocket universe, different time.
I'm totally cool with a multiverse type of thing, just like an Elseworld story, just like the comics do. I just wish that they would continue with their connected stories and don't do like a weird X-Men weird timeline situation. I don't know.
Yeah, that is weird. Yeah, I watched Joker as a fan of Taxi Driver. The DCEU, we lost you there, buddy, needs to connect. Agreed. But I think they could have different pockets. They've already started doing it. We'll see. One thing I'm excited about and what I'd like to see happen is for the foundation that has been laid down by Zack Snyder with all these people. There's great casting across the board. Can we just continue with that? Like why? Why? Just because Snyder is happy at Netflix, you know what I mean? Like okay, they gave him a giant bag of money, and now he's doing what he wants at Netflix. We don't have to have Zack Snyder to continue the Snyderverse. We can just take those excellently casted characters and move forward. Curtis, what were you about to say?
So would Snyderverse fans or super fan, like, I like the Snyderverse, but I am not super in that game. Would they be fine with that? Would they be fine with the Snyderverse continuing story-wise without Snyder?
Well,
Derek?
you guys answer that in the chat. We're going to go to you in just a second after he says his thing and I say my thing. Then we're going to go to the chat. What do you think, Derek?
Absolutely. And I saw a comment later that we can like reference. Snyderverse get restored and completed is good business. I mean, the thing about it, I mean, when you already look at the Snyder Cut and the way it was going with the nightmare future, it wasn't like Snyder was trying to continue a 10-year-long story. It was his story was going to end after 3 Justice League movies and whatever movies took place in between. But then obviously it was going to have a Flashpoint type of situation where Flash was going to go back in time and fix everything. That was established in Batman v Superman. So, I mean, yeah, it's not like the Snyderverse needs to continue for, 2 decades. It just needs to get to Justice League 3 and then wrap itself up, and then we're good. And that's all. That's really all people like me want. I don't know. I can't speak for the rest of them.
With Flashpoint coming, would that be if they wrapped it up neatly? Would that be a good, not necessarily stopping point, but re-entry point, like, or to start a restart?
Depending on how it was done, because I'm thinking back to X-Men Days of Future Past, how that one kind of cleaned up the timeline a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
They could easily do that with this Flash movie, but at the same time, I feel like Ben Affleck has not gotten enough justice as Batman, and Henry Cavill certainly hasn't gotten enough justice as Superman. I just want their stories to be a little bit more fleshed out.
I agree with that.
That's really all I want.
Raj says Cavill, Affleck, and other actors won't go with it without Snyder, and Snyder wants to complete his saga. Does he? It's DC. Snyderverse was only supposed to be a 5-year plan. It was supposed to be a 20-year. Here's the deal, dude. Like, Snyder's at Netflix making his own movies, like his own stories. I don't think he cares. I mean, I think he loves the fans, and I think he loves the source material. And, I have a bunch of songs that I started writing and didn't finish, and I have a lot of ideas that I have demoed that I never saw to fruition. And I those are creative little nuggets that I would love to record that one day with a better drummer instead of electronic drums that I hand programmed. I'd love to see that finished, but it's fine because I'm working on this other thing. You know what I mean? Like I think he's fine over there, and to say that Cavill and Affleck won't go without Snyder, I don't know that that's true. Like Ben Affleck is a businessman, and if you say, hey man, if you have a new, instead of the clown table, as you put it, the AT&T Warner Brothers regime and all these different people involved, we got a whole new set of people in here. We got Alan Horn, we got David Zaslav, we got a whole bunch of people, and Ben Affleck is a businessman. I think if they said, hey man, like we'll give you some money. You want to direct a Batman versus Deadpool? I mean, a Deathstroke movie.
Wow.
Yeah. No, you want to do a Deathstroke Batman movie and want to direct it, Mr. Affleck? We'll let you do that. Sorry, dude. It's a Slade Wade. It's just so close. It's hard to keep them straight.
That's fair.
Yeah. But
Yep.
you think he's not going to do that? You think if he goes to a business meeting and these guys are like, hey, I like this guy way more than I liked the guy at the last meeting, is a whole new set of people in there. And I think it's possible we see a lot of cool stuff. Also, Ben Affleck is in a different. He just got married. He's not in a alcoholic pit that he was in while all this stuff was going. He was dealing with a whole lot of drama. He's freshly married to J-Lo. He looks great. We'll see in a second. And I would say new business people that haven't pissed him off. I'd say it's just like, hey, Mr. Krasinski, you want to direct Fantastic Four? You can have the lead role. We'll let you direct. You're getting into directing. Ben Affleck's a great director and likes doing that stuff. So I wouldn't say never. I don't think these guys are all like, we are so loyal to Zack Snyder that there's no circumstance that we wouldn't go and continue Batman, one of my favorite characters ever. I think Ben Affleck would do it. Henry Cavill, good friends with The Rock. His agent is The Rock's ex-wife. I don't think that it's not. It's possible that they had dinner together up in some ski resort where they both got to helicopter in and have steaks and
Ski steaks.
Yeah, and say, hey, you want to do this? Sure, let's do it. Hey, the people that annoyed the shit out of me, they're all gone. Let's make a movie. Okay, we might see him like. I don't know. I don't think I sound crazy. I think it's possible. And that's the deal about it is like, yes, Snyder is important and the storytelling is important, but half of it is the actors. The actors, the people look right for the part. The way they portrayed those parts was right. And I think it's just as much the actors as it is Zack Snyder. I don't think it's just the director. I don't say that Robert Downey Jr. is the ultimate Iron Man because Jon Favreau directed the early stuff. You know what I mean? Like he still continued to be Iron Man and still the only Iron Man for me. So go ahead, Curtis. You were going to say something?
Well, I was going to say Natalie Kirsten had a good point as well. She said the DC needs more villain origin stories. Netflix Gotham is legit, but there's so much focus on the Joker as the only villain. The DC very Joker centric, and Batman has such a great cast of villains. I'm glad they're bringing a few more of them out for the new Batman, but then like at the end with the Joker again, like I love the Joker, but you're kind of just beating him into the ground. And at the same time, as they could simply say too, like DC could go and say, we're going to continue the Schneider saga. And then just like hire Rob Schneider to direct them, and then nobody would know. Just don't show, just then move right along, like the
I would know.
Schneiderverse.
Yeah.
How dare you put that into the world?
Fucking amazing.
Why are you trying, Curtis? That's rude. That's unkind.
Oh, it's great. What do you think, Zemo?
I like Rob Schneider.
All right. Tom says, isn't that just a rumor, though? Yeah, this is a lot of speculation. I was just posing the question that, like, do we need do we need Snyder to continue the Snyderverse? Is half of the Snyderverse the cast, and just like the MCU, they switch directors and things all the time, but it's the magic of the casting, and the cast of the Snyderverse it's the first time that they've got it right in a long time. Like it's just a magic, perfect Wonder Woman, perfect Aquaman. Nobody would have ever seen that coming but it worked. It works perfect. Perfect Superman. Perfect Batman. It's just like great. Cyborg was fantastic. Every single character was cool. So okay, we don't have the director we wanted. Can't we keep the ball rolling? Is that so wrong?
Yeah. And that's kind of a question. Do fans? I'm sorry, Derek. Do fans feel that it's unsavable, or can this this storyline, this version of the universe be saved? And then of course it's going to be moved on to as well. But like that it can be saved at this point.
It totally can
without paying a ton of money, bringing Zack Snyder in, hauling everybody within the realm of the real.
It can totally be saved if they just acknowledge if they just make the Snyder Cut canon and continue off of that easily. 100%. You just need good directors, and Warner Brothers needs to let the directors direct their movies. That's another thing that's been a big issue, is that they give it to these people, don't supervise them, then they don't like what they do, and then they try to make all these changes. It's like, you need to set some ground rules for your directors if you want to control them, like Disney and Marvel.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't.
Any IP does that.
Yeah, but for some reason it seems like Warner Brothers doesn't. I don't know. I don't work there. But there was something else I was going to say. Another reason why I feel like this should just continue, because kind of like what you're saying about villain origin stories, just in Batman, there's so many other characters to explore. We've got Dick Grayson, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, like people, like they're finally starting to bring him in that Titan show, which is, I like it, but I don't expect anybody else to. But like, we can continue in the movies and then stop rebooting Batman, stop rebooting Superman, get to Robin, get to Nightwing, get to Red Hood, put them in live action films, continue those stories. We don't need a new Batman reboot every 5 years. Batman's great. He's my favorite character of all time, but we've got so many other characters just in the Batman stories alone. We can do that with all of DC.
And they've got a proven track record of it working with the animated stuff.
And Marvel's got a proven track record of, look at everything they've done. Yes, there are some movies like Quantum Mania that have Peyton Reed is in charge of all the Ant-Mans, you know what I mean? But they're not all like that, you know what I mean? They switch directors up, and it's okay. Like, so if I saw a comment like, hey, they proved you can't switch directors in like talking about Snyder switching the Justice League, Joss Whedon. I couldn't think of Joss Whedon's name. But Justice League proved that switching directors halfway doesn't work as well as did the theatrical. But it does work because Marvel proved you can do it. Like you don't have to have the same person there all the time. It's just they proved that their executives didn't know what the hell they wanted and were arguing. What you need is somebody who knows what they want and leads the way and lays down the guidelines. They need to put a long-term plan, and they say they've been working on that for a long time, but it's the same old argument. But like my only question was just that, and I think Curtis even is probably the one who brought this up. I'm like stealing your thunder, dude. But do we need Snyder for this, or does the cast of the Snyder Cut could they continue if you had some new execs coming in and doing things differently, like Alan Horn, who knows how to behave, and can help shepherd this through, and find us a Jon Favreau, a Feige, for this mess, is what we've been saying forever. Well, shit, just get us Feige. Okay, Horn, you guys work together. All right, let's do it. Yeah, but it's Kevin Feige that runs the overall thing in the MCU. MCU is more television, creative-wise. The directors don't get much control. This is true, and that's exactly what we need is somebody who's in charge, like Snyder. Why can't we get a Snyder in here? I'm just kidding. All right, let's move on to the next thing. It's the age-old thing. We love the Snyderverse. We'd like to see it continue, but I'm saying, do we need Snyder for this? Because he's at Netflix. So let's all get over it and just pray that Alan Horn and David Zaslav and all the new chiefs over at Warner Brothers get this going. So all right, what else?
And he's at Netflix actually making good movies. So that's kind of a big deal for Netflix. Like,
yeah, and I want to see Rebel Moon. That's what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Come on. So check this out.
My man.
Oh man. If you guys, unless you guys have been like in a hole with no Instagram and no cell phone service, you might have noticed this.
Well, it's not a fucking secret anymore, is it? Sorry, children. That's what happens, Warner Brothers. When you walk out of your set, and there's our fans. Hey guys, have a good time. Jameson. Well, we tried to keep it a secret.
Try to keep what a secret.
All right, here we go. Thank you. Oh, sorry, bro.
What? What's that?
Whoops.
Was that Ben Affleck?
Well,
Was that Ben Affleck?
That's my boy.
Was that Ben? What's? Guys, we zoomed in on this. If you look at this, check this out. Yeah, my man. That's Ben Affleck on the phone with J-Lo, probably. Ben Affleck on the phone. What? I mean, what do you want? Yeah. Let that chest piece shine right there. That's right. Oh, my goodness. Guys, Ben Affleck on what is happening? Well, if you don't know what's happening, I'll tell you what's happening. The Flash got pushed back, and Michael Keaton, you guys probably have already read this, but Michael Keaton was supposed to appear in Aquaman as Batman.
oh,
But
I didn't know that. I didn't
yeah,
know.
but Michael Keaton in our universe doesn't exist yet because it doesn't happen until the Flash, and the Flash keeps getting pushed back. So how can you have
Oh.
Michael Keaton if Ezra hasn't pulled him out of the other universe? So what do we do?
Ezra Miller keeps choking people, so
Yes. So what do? We put a call into we get Michael Horn. We hire Michael Horn to get Ben Affleck to come back. I'm just kidding. No, like so they said, hey, and he said, I will not come back to do this, to film this little piece unless Zack Snyder films me for this pickup shot for this Aquaman thing. And they said, please. And he said, only if Zack Snyder's there will I show up. And they're like, please, we'll give you a big bag of money and some Quiznos. And he said, well, I love Quiznos. And he showed up and he's on the set, and it's unless he's up there doing something else. Like I've not seen any confirmation of absolute proof. Like anybody's seen him.
he's just
like,
ordering DoorDash, and he
Yeah.
had to have an
He's-
address. So he's like,
Yeah. I've not seen any absolute proof that he's filming that, but it would be a weird coincidence. Oh, I'm doing another movie. We're gonna do some other movie with Matt Damon. I was meeting up him up here,
yeah.
and
Goodwill Hunting 2 is shooting right across the street.
yeah,
so.
and we just so happen to have Jason Mamoa that was here. So no, I don't know. It sure looks like he's doing that, and that's the theory. That's what everybody said. And as far as I know, I haven't seen that Warner Brothers has actually released a statement saying, "Hey, yes, we're busted. Ben Affleck is doing Batman stuff here." But the word out on the street is that he's doing that because the Flash movie keeps getting pushed back. So there you go. So that's exciting. So Ben Affleck, what are your thoughts, man? Are you excited to potentially, possibly see Ben Affleck in
Yeah,
Aquaman?
always. Bring him back for everything.
My man.
Finish his story. Give him give him a Dick Grayson, then make his story. Keep that going.
Yeah. And Curtis?
Like I'm excited. Like we were talking about, it seems like they are at least to a certain degree trying to continue the storyline, which is good. Of course, we saw him at the end of Peacemaker, or not. We didn't see Ben Affleck, did we?
Nope, it was everybody
remember.
but him, and then you couldn't
Everybody but-
even
yeah.
see Superman's
And Superman
face.
was the
Yeah,
silhouette.
well, Superman was there, but it wasn't. Yeah,
It's
it wasn't
because Zach
necessarily
wasn't
Cavill.
there. They're like, we're not going to go to the end of Peacemaker unless Zach is behind the camera holding the he has to be doing a handheld, or we're not doing it.
But and then we don't know what's going to happen with Flash. But he's talking about it in this article, and he says he's just wanted to give the character a good ending, and he like with the Flash movie, it's gonna get that, but he said they might end up cutting it to pieces.
Who's this? Is
so
Ben Affleck?
Ben Affleck, yeah. He was saying he felt that the character under him didn't get a good, closure. I think all the fans felt as well. That's why we
Yeah.
have this movement. But he feels like that's what occurred when he was filming for the Flash movie. So it's kind of seems like he's speaking like he's done with it. But
The word though,
again,
Curtis, on the word on that though was that he was supposed to like go get lost in the multiverse and sacrifice himself to save everyone. And the reason he was going to do that is because Ben Affleck didn't want to play the role anymore. It wasn't fun. Like, hey, every time they start to give me a show or a thing, then somebody changes their mind, and it's like, you know what? I'm done fucking with these people. Also, it was a dark time in his life while things were going on, and the whole thing just gave him negative vibes. And he's like, I'm done dealing with these people. All those people are fired. Like, at least half of those people are fired.
Yeah.
So maybe,
Exactly.
yeah. So it's like, okay, all these people that were promising my own HBO show or do a movie, you can direct, you can do all these things. They're like, hey, this is gonna be fun. I can do it I could tell a Batman story my way. This is awesome. And they're like, yeah, we changed our mind. We're not gonna do this anymore. And finally, he's like, all right, look, I'm contracted to do this. I don't want to let down my co-stars. I don't want to let down everyone. I'll finish this out. Can you just kill me off in the Flash, and I go out like a hero, saving everyone, and then y'all move forward, bring Michael Keaton back, and he can be the old man Batman mentor. That's fine. But when you change the people upstairs, all of a sudden, hey, is this back on the table? Maybe as long as they got big buckets of money and they can make things fun. I think there's chances for good things to happen.
I mean, it's
Yeah,
clear.
fair point.
It's clear that. I mean, I've watched interviews, and he had a great time in Batman v Superman, and of course, the alcoholism and all that stuff, and all the drama with the studio and with the tragedy in Snyder's life. Like it really it messed with everything. And it's clear that he doesn't not like playing Batman, because he keeps coming back for these little things. He comes back for the Flash. He's coming back for
wouldn't want to
Aquaman.
play Batman, like
Exactly. But he even came back for the Snyder Cut reshoots that they told Snyder not to do, and he said, no, I'm going to do them anyway. I love that. But like it's clear that Ben Affleck would be down to keep playing Batman if the studio got their stuff together, which sounds like they're starting
Maybe
to
they-
do.
yeah.
So
or at least
I'm
it's
hopeful.
a goal of theirs.
I'm hopeful.
Yeah, I'm hope.
And that's a good
That's what we
a
need,
good point.
Alfred. Hope.
No, faith.
That's a good point
Faith.
that I just made. Who wouldn't want to play Batman, especially if you're an established actor? Like,
Yeah.
I understand young actors being like, I don't want to be typecast and this and that. But Ben Affleck's like, I'm fucking Ben Affleck. Like, I just he can just play Batman for the rest of it. And even Michael Keaton's like, I don't want to be typecast when he's young. Now he's like, I want to go play fucking Batman. I want to be like, who, when we do the Vulture, like, yeah, let's do this. Like, let's have fun. Like, So yeah, good point.
Henry,
But don't give me that hope. Just to punch me in the nuts later.
Faith, Alfred. Faith.
Faith, Alfred. Faith. Even Henry Cavill wanted to play Batman one day, but he didn't.
What if Flashpoint happens and they just switch and like Ben Affleck Superman, and then
Dude, Ben Affleck would
He's-
make a good Superman.
He
That'd be awesome.
played
He would.
what's his name in that Hollywood land. He played the actor who played Superman.
Oh yeah,
George Reeves.
Christopher Reeves.
George Reeves.
The one
George Reeves. Yeah.
He played George. Yeah.
Well, awesome. Well, guys in the chat, what do you think, man? Are you excited? Ben Affleck coming back? Coming back.
And Raj makes a good point. Sil and Mikey scooped this like a while back.
Dude, all of their scoops have been coming true. Every
Yeah,
time
really.
every time I get on Netflix or turn on get on Netflix, get on social media, there's a scoop of theirs that's coming true. Which is great because they're all
And
good
they're
scoops.
old scoops. Yeah.
Yeah.
Old scoops. So yeah.
Like Thunderbolts. I knew about Thunderbolts a long time ago when Super Team Megaforce was getting together almost 2 years ago. Mikey jumped on and talked about that, and now it's all happening. It's hilarious. Well, let's get into some
Mikey's
other.
the watcher.
Yeah, he is. Let's get into some other stuff. Man, recently we had San Diego Comic-Con, and there was a bunch of fun Marvel news. The MCU doing some crazy things, and before I get into this, there's a lot of shows that got announced, and I'm going to show you the shows quickly that weren't announced. So if somebody's like, what about these things? I'm mentioning them now. Armor Wars is supposed to be in the works. Wonder Woman, there's supposed to be an Okoye Wakanda series. There's a Nova series. There's a Deadpool, Shang-Chi 2, The Mutant Spider-Man 4. All those not mentioned there. And there's even some other slots available. And the reason is that all of these things aren't mentioned is because they need to have something to talk about at D23. D23 is happening soon. They got to have something, but it's been a while since we had San Diego Comic-Con, and because of the pandemic and all that. But now that it's back, they came out with a bang, and it's like, okay, everybody's talking smack on Marvel. Marvel's lost it. Marvel's gone. Marvel's this phase sucks. Blah blah blah. Blah. Okay. They said, okay, guys, hold my beer. And then, boom. So they showed up with all this stuff, and they call it the Multiverse Saga. We got She-Hulk, Attorney at Law. It's going to be August 17th. Fantastic. We got the end of Phase 4 is Wakanda Forever. There's a lot of news about that. Then we go into Phase 5, which is all of these crazy things that are listed up here, including Ant-Man and Wasp Quantum Mania, which is February 17th, 2023. We've got What If Season 2, it's early 2023. We got Secret Invasion, early 2023. We got Guardians of the Galaxy, May 5th, 2023. That's Volume 3. We got Loki Season 2, summer of 2023. We got Echo, summer of 2023. We got the Marvels, July 28th, 2023. We got Ironheart, which is fall of 2023. We got Blade, which is November 3rd, 2023. We got Agatha and the Coven of Chaos. I'm excited about this one. Winter of 2023. We've got Daredevil 2024 on Disney Plus. Series 18 episodes long. That's right. Series 18 episodes of Daredevil. Hold on.
Yes. I'm trying not to scream.
Oh, so excited. Then we're going to have Captain America New World Order May 3rd, 2024. Then we have, as predicted by Mikey Sutton, Thunderbolts, end of Phase 5, July 2024. Then we go into Phase 6, which they only talk about Fantastic Four. Start of Phase 6, which is 11/8/24. Then we got Kang and the Conqueror. The Kang Dynasty, Avengers, the Kang Dynasty, which is exciting because this means all this crazy stuff that's been building up is all going to all meet there. And then 6 months later, they're going to have Avengers Secret Wars at the end of Phase 6, which is November 7th, 2025. And it looks like there's even more. I saw an article today that talks about even some more stuff that's coming out that hints at a Phase 7. So anybody that thinks like there's some more, I think there's some more trademark things or something, but they made some more announcements, and we're not going to get into those because I didn't make graphics and all that. But the crux of the information is for anybody that thinks the cinema. There was people thinking that at the end with Avengers Secret Wars was going to be the end of it was going to be the end of the MCU. And so there's been some new developments that are like, no, guys, there's more things that they're planning for afterwards. And I just want to say, there's never going to be an end to the MCU. They're going to keep, as long as we keep giving them their money, they're going to keep cranking out stuff, and they're just going to keep rebooting. There will never be an end to the MCU. It's going to keep going forever. It's like forever. So, yeah, it's hilarious.
Yep.
And along with this mutants thing, once they get into the mutants, this is going to usher in a whole decade, if not more, of stories and craziness because we've been doing all this Avengers stuff for years. There's going to be X-Men, probably big X-Men buildups. I would imagine they're going to probably they're going to introduce the mutants. Then they're going to start doing different characters of the mutants and little sub-stories. And I'm wondering if they're going to do big team-ups where they're like X-Men and they're big team-up movies the way the Avengers are. And if they handle it like that, if that's how they handle the X-Men. And in which case, that means you get like 3 movies a year. 3 or 4 movies a year. I can't remember exactly how they've been doing it, but
and the shows,
of course. And that's why they're able to get through all these phases so fast now. Is in the past we didn't have all these shows to fill in the gaps, but now we get the shows and multiple movies a year. So I have a feeling like, holy cow, they're going to be doing that, and then have these big team up X-Men movies where. Maybe we'll get a cameo of an older, decrepit Robert Downey Jr., but the time is going to keep rolling, and the superheroes are going to keep coming out of the woodwork. Holy crap! Who's excited besides me? Anybody out there excited? In the chat, we'll talk to you in a second. Let us know if you're excited about any of these. Which show or movie is your most anticipated, most excited show? And we'll start with you, Curtis, being the guy with the Marvel tattoos. What do you think about all this news?
I am super excited. It kind of revealed to me though that the Phase 4 was to me felt like a dumping ground. Like it was kind of like they're setting other stuff up, for the future. But Phase 4, like there wasn't gonna be a big thing in Phase 4. Like Wakanda Forever looks amazing. Like it's the end of Phase 4. It looks amazing. Super excited about She-Hulk. But like it just in general, it was just a setup phase. It was just and not in a good way like the original Phase 1. But with the stuff that's coming, like I can see what they're doing now. I can see where they're going. And my only hope is, and I have some fears from some of the trailers, from some of the stuff that came out at San Diego Comic-Con about, for example, Ant-Man and potentially Guardians 3 and stuff like that. Marvel has a problem with taking awesome villains and then just murdering them off so they can't be reused, and then taking like B-level villains and then treating them like they're jokes. If they do their villains right, besides Kang being the big bad, like they need to respect their other villains and and handle them correctly so they can pull from them later on and stuff like that, and just do the villain justice in general. I mean, like they've done with Zemo. Honestly, just do like what you did with Zemo. It's gonna be great, but I do have a lot of worries about what they're gonna, what villains they're gonna ruin, what they're gonna and stuff like that. I'm super excited. But no, that's the thing. Now that we know that Kang's a big bad, I don't want them pulling a Infinity Saga and just, okay, here's all these awesome villains. Let's just throw them into random movies and kill them off. Like, I don't want them doing that again.
Well, they're gonna have a cliffhanger at the end of the Kang Dynasty. It's gonna be like the you know what I mean. So it'll be some kind of cliffhanger that leads from Kang Dynasty into Secret Wars and stuff. When you're saying treat him with respect, are you talking about Doctor Doom? Is that basically what who you're talking about? Who are you talking about mainly? Like, who's your big fear of the disrespected villain?
In all of them, like I've already heard things about them not respecting MODOK as a villain, and Ant-Man, the High Evolutionary. We talked a little bit about off camera. Like he's a very influential villain in the Marvel universe. He's never been like a Thanos level threat necessarily or anything like that, but he's throughout. He's origin stories for tons of people left and right. So if they just bring him in Guardians 3 and kill him off in Guardians 3, that's going to make me mad. But to your point, if they screw up Doom, I'll say right now, I am done with the MCU until I don't know. Like Doom is the Marvel villain. If you fuck up Doom, we're done. Like, don't do it. Like, they already did it like that, but that was a Fox property. Like, okay, other people can get it wrong. But if Marvel can't get Doom right, I like it's time to start setting fires. I'm just saying.
hit the streets. What do you think? I heard some rumors about Anthony Starr who's Homelander, either being one of them was Dracula in Blade, and then another rumor was that Anthony Starr would be Doctor Doom. And I know it's because he's so fantastic in his role as Homelander that people are like, he's the most hated. Like, nobody's hated anybody since Joffrey in Game of Thrones until Anthony Starr showed up. I wonder if he could do it. How about you, Derek? What do you think, man?
About these new phases?
About these new phases, or the villains? Are you worried about them mistreating the villains, or do you think they know who the big bads are supposed to be, and maybe they got a few disposable villains between here and there?
Just talk about the phases. You never talk about the phases, Derek. Why don't you talk about the phases?
All I care about is Daredevil. I care about Thor, Daredevil, and Deadpool, and Thor is already 1 foot out the door now. I think, I agree with Curtis about what they've been doing with the villains. I enjoy Loki, for example, in the MCU, and I enjoy his show, but I don't know. I'm not as well versed in the comics, but all the Thor comics I have read, Loki is a straight up bastard, and like he's not that redeemable. And in the MCU, they made him very much more likable. I'm sure there might be comics out there where he is a little bit more likable. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but not that's true. Yeah, in the comic to a degree he is, but in the MCU he is much more redeemable in the MCU. Yeah, that's absolutely true.
He was under the influence of the Mind Stone. Come on, cut him some slack.
Lame. No.
Lame.
No, like I don't like villains who are, I don't know, they're getting into this thing where villains are so relatable and you need to know so much about them. I mean, that makes for a good villain, but then at the same time, it's like, how come bad guys can't just be bad? But then, I don't know. That's not where I wanted to go. I was thinking about Crossbones when you were talking about like disposable villains, and I feel like they could have done a lot more with Crossbones.
Yeah.
And
he's the guy that killed Captain America.
Exactly.
In the comics.
I thought that was gonna just shows up at the beginning in a cool outfit and gets blown up, and that's it. But no, I do think they're gonna probably do that with a couple of villains. But anyway, I just care about Daredevil. Daredevil showed up in the She-Hulk trailer with the yellow suit. I wasn't sure how I felt about the yellow suit, but I don't care. 18-episode show? Yes. Give
That's
it.
what I'm talking about.
Give it. It's all I care about right now. I just care about Daredevil, and then I will watch everything else and have low-ish hopes, and then hopefully get surprised.
Yeah, that's good. It's good. Raj said, "I'm waiting for the MCU the day the MCU announces the Midnight Suns."
Oh, I am as well. And did you know that there was a little thing? It's probably just a one-off thing that I saw or was reading about online in She-Hulk. There's a scene where a guy somebody standing in front of a sign, and it says, presenting Johnny Blaze, which is the original. Well, not the original, but is the main Ghost Rider. So it might just be a neat little Easter egg, but they might be introducing him. And like I said, She-Hulk would be the perfect avenue to introduce a lot of these, characters.
I think it was a bunch of comics on posters of different comics in this office that you're talking about.
No, it's like a standee sign, and it's like or presenting Johnny Blaze or something like that. It's it's something, I don't know, but like in front of a stage or something like that. So
Bring back Nicolas Cage.
Yeah. Let's see. I'm trying to find.
Said for the first time ever.
Okay. Let's see. Panther. I thought I'd.
But yeah, if they did Midnight Suns, that'd be awesome. If they did it right.
I did see a story about that. Keep talking, and I'm gonna.
Well, it wasn't. Yeah, and that wasn't in the phases or anything like that. But I've heard of them talking about it a lot.
Did you guys watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
Did you say Asians of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
It sounded like that, but I meant to say agents.
I watched about the first season or something, and then tapered off. Like I didn't stick with it.
That's fair. I really enjoyed it, but I really liked their Ghost Rider. They did Ghost Rider. I want to say season 4. I could be wrong. But
Quake was my favorite Asian of S.H.I.E.L.D.
That
she's
a fair thing to say.
She's great. I can't find it now. There was a story about. Oh, here it is. There was a story of a lovely lady that I thought was pretty funny. I'm gonna jump to this real quick. Bam, bam.
Or was
bam.
it the one about the man named Jed? He was like a poor mountaineer.
That's the one.
He could barely kept his family fed.
Yeah.
And then one day he was shooting up some food.
And out from the trees came a bubble and grew. Yeah, the Abomination's weird new career. He's like a motivational speaker. And like you can see in the back, it's like make your go a reality. Achieve everything, and then Abomaste in the background, which is like yoga stuff. It's just but Abomination mixed in with it,
mixed with namaste
instead of namaste. Yeah, I'm like, this is super ridiculous.
Namaste.
Yeah, and make your go a reality. So I think it's funny, and there was some other stuff.
So right there, that's okay. Go back. No, right there. So that's the Wrecking Crew. Okay, the Wrecking Crew is a B-level villain group, but they are badass. They have gone toe to toe with like Thor, with like the Hulk. They basically have enchanted. I mean, it's a stupid origin. Like, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But like they're construction crew that got enchanted weapons from Loki, but that's a heavy hitting group right there, and it looks like they're making them a joke. That's like I'm excited about She-Hulk, but stuff like that kind of pisses me off. Like that could be a movie villain.
Yeah.
And you're probably going to use it for a one-off episode just to laugh at them because of their origin. Like,
do you think are they making them a joke though? Like,
it looks like it. I mean, and plus, besides the fact that they're not, Asgardian enchanted weapons, which could be easy enough. You could just be like, doesn't have to be Loki. New Asgard's right there on Earth. Would be like, this is the god of construction workers, and he's like, yeah, my boys. You could make part of it a joke still, but they have significant power, and they can go toe to toe with a lot of people, and like, and then all their stuff's like this, just like any other Marvel person. Like, hey, here's some light that I'm gonna throw at you. Yeah, like. Okay, thanks. That's light. Like, that's all. Everybody's powers now. Here's some light power for you. Yeah.
Will Ghost Rider actually appear in She-Hulk? Because the direct. At a minute 50-second mark of the video, the poster showing a potential Ghost Rider Easter egg can be seen while Wong fights an unknown threat. The poster appears to use the surname Blaze, referencing the original Ghost Rider from the comics, Johnny Blaze. However, the first name doesn't seem to have enough letters to fit Johnny in it, but appears to be an amalgam named Donnie Blaze, which would combine the name of the third Ghost Rider, Danny, and Johnny Blaze. So I don't know, but there's people are finding all kinds of fun Easter eggs in this show, and I love it because it means people are getting excited about this show, and I'm excited about She-Hulk. I'm very, very stoked on She-Hulk. I can't wait to see how this turns out.
Yeah, I am too. It's
there was a featurette, and I was talking to you about this, but there's a featurette that talked about how she got her powers, and like before, there was an assassination attempt on her, made by Trask that basically left her in a situation where she needed a blood transfusion, and so she got it from Bruce, and that's how she gets her powers. In this featurette, she is in a car accident, and because of the car accident, he's in Bruce form, which kind of was weird to me because I felt like if he got in a car accident, he would involuntarily transform into the Hulk. But he bleeds on her, and the cuts like she absorbs his blood in a car accident. Granted, this is like post Endgame. Maybe he's like shriveled up, and the Hulk is way recessed and hiding and gone away. But I've heard of even that there's stories where Bruce put a gun in his mouth, and before the bullet killed him, he transformed into Hulk. So like I saw some people arguing online about it. This is bull crap. Like that would never happen. But that's how they're doing it. They didn't want to tell the whole mobster story of her getting assassinated. They're like, let's just jump right into it. She's hanging out with her cousin. They get into a car accident. She absorbs some of his blood. And now she's a She-Hulk. That's how they're jumping right into it because of the tone.
That might be perfect though. But not or not perfect, but I think you might be right on track. So I was wondering like why. So he's Professor Hulk whenever he's training her, but he's regular Bruce. Well, he hasn't been regular Bruce since Infinity War. Infinity War, Hulk was too scared to come out, so he's with her after Infinity War, after the snap, and before he turns into Professor Hulk. Hulk's too scared to come out, and then they get in the car wreck.
And you remember at the end of Shang-Chi, he's got the sling. He's got a sling, and they're like, what are these 10 rings? And they're in the post-credit scene, they're analyzing the 10 rings, and he is
Bruce again.
He's in Bruce form, and
I think he just reverted back to normal Bruce because there wasn't a point. I mean, they might explain it, but I think he's just got perfect control over it now. So he's just like, well, my arm is kind of useless. Might as well just be a normal dude for now.
A lot of people said they didn't want to spend the money to draw Hulk for the post-credit scene. So they're like, dude, just give him a sling and we'll make him Bruce. So just shoot that really quick. They don't have to draw him. I don't know what the truth is, but
it's a good enough reason for me.
Yeah,
I don't care. He's got perfect control over it. He can do whatever he wants.
That's probably why they'll make him Bruce half of this show because they don't want to spend the money on the animation.
Or something happens, and they're priming it with She-Hulk to bring in World War Hulk because they have to bring back the monster if they're going to do World War Hulk. And I've seen some things online where they were saying basically the end of Shang-Chi, where that's the first iteration of the Illuminati, and then Bruce eventually gets kicked out once the monster comes back, and of 616, not 616, but MCU Illuminati. Bruce basically gets kicked out because the monster comes back, and like that's never mind. But like, so if they're leading to World War Hulk, you can't have Professor Hulk. So basically, they have to bring the monster back. So maybe they're saying like something's happening,
or maybe he has to just get so pissed. You do something so traumatic to him that's what makes him that pissed. Well, they need a reason to banish him, right? Like he have to get so mad that they need to banish him, and then he has his family, and then all hell breaks loose. I really like the dynamic of the idea of a character that is running from a fight because he doesn't want to hurt anybody, as opposed to, you know what I mean? Like he's so powerful, and I was thinking about that. Like Black Bolt is the same way. He can't talk because he doesn't want to hurt anybody, and it's like you're a lot like instead of being like
that's your superpower, controlling yourself.
yeah, instead of being quick to like, I'll go kick some ass, let's go. It's one thing to be Wolverine and just jump in because you're invincible, but it's another thing to be like, man, if I open my mouth, I'm messing people up. Or if I Hulk out, all hell's gonna break loose, and I might destroy a city. It's like that's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy.
And that like Professor Hulk was always like my least favorite of the Hulks. So whenever I saw him, I was not excited. And like too, like it reminds me of Superman versus Spider-Man, one of the first, I think the first Marvel DC crossover, which I have in giant size edition. So, but like Spider-Man's beating Superman in the beginning, but basically because it's Superman, and he's like, just like he does with the Hulks, whipping around, talking dirty or not, talking trash to him and stuff like that, and pissing him off. And then like Superman just goes to punch him, and it like comics are so great how they do frame by frame, and Superman's like basically like, I could destroy a planet with this punch. I could like kill, blah 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 with this punch. He's like, if I actually hit this guy, he's gonna be dead. And then so he's like, I have to pull back, and this is all within the frame of the the punch speed, so he pulls back and still knocks the crap out of Spider-Man. But he's like he had to go through this whole logic train in his brain to not kill Spider-Man with one punch. Like it's just great.
That's awesome. Well, are you guys excited for She-Hulk? I'm excited for She-Hulk. She-Hulk is coming soon. What is it?
I'm
August 17th? Is that right? Yeah, August 17th. Well, hey, we got some Black Panther 2 drama. Wakanda Forever. I don't know if they call it drama, but yeah, there's drama. Who we kidding? First of all, Lego Shuri in a Black Panther suit? What the hell is that? And if you look there in the middle, I think that's Shuri, and it looks like a Black Panther suit. People are like, what? What? She's gonna be the Black Panther? People are freaking out about that. Enough that there's and I don't know if it's people that just don't want to see T'Challa's character go away, or if they're like, I don't want a girl to be the new Black Panther, you know what I mean? Like, where's T'Challa? I don't know what the motivations are, but there's
it's both.
Yeah, I think so. There's a whole movement of recast. Look at this, recast T'Challa. And I'm like, okay, now. So we're gonna look at these tweets. I erased the people because I don't want to cause any crap. But God forbid. But if Tom Holland died today, they would not kill off Peter Parker. If Robert Pattinson died, they would not stop casting people to play Bruce Wayne. Chadwick was very proud of bringing T'Challa to life. Killing T'Challa does not honor Chadwick. And then we got recast T'Challa movement is not against Shuri or any female characters. Okay. Recast T'Challa is not calling for an immediate recast. Recast T'Challa is not preventing anyone else from taking up the mantle of Black Panther. Recast T'Challa is asking Marvel Studios not to use the tragic passing of Chadwick Boseman as a plot device for their fictional storytelling. Recast T'Challa is asking for the portrayal of T'Challa to be allowed to continue in the MCU. I'm like, okay, dude. Like, and then this stuff gives me an ice cream headache because the fucking movie's already done. Okay, let me continue. Okay, listen to Chadwick. To what Chadwick has to say. Say this is for all those who say there could only be one actor in the role. And that's big shoes to fill, blah, 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 blah. What actors say when people say there can be only one? And then I watched that video, and Chadwick Boseman is not even talking about T'Challa. Chadwick Boseman is talking about people saying, hey, you're the next Denzel. And him saying, why can there only be one great black actor? Why can't there be a bunch of us? And he goes on to say, I celebrate when anybody does great in their role, and I think there could be a lot of great actors. You don't have to say there can only be one Denzel, like, oh, I'm the next Denzel or whatever. And so it has nothing to do with this. But like people do, they read a headline and then go share an article or take a video that they've never even watched. If the guy watched this video, he would know that he's not even talking about T'Challa. And this guy's like, there you go. There can only be one. That's not true. Even Chadwick Boseman said so, and he posts this video. I'm like, dude, that has nothing to do with the argument of recasting T'Challa. So why that video is on there is silly, except that Chadwick Boseman was right. But this whole thing just like gives me a freaking headache. First of all, the movie's already cast. I mean, it's already cast. It's already done. They're done with this movie.
Yeah.
So like, get over it. Second of all, if they had recast, they decided, they said, you know what? We're going to hang up the jersey and pass it on. Maybe 10, 15 years, they'll reboot everything or something, and you'll get another Black Panther. But at this point, expecting anyone to, for one, the guy that they know, like I don't know Chadwick Boseman. You know what I mean? Like how, like I like Chadwick Boseman. I don't know the guy, but like this movie's already done, and these people who got up and went to work with him on these movies, and the people that cast him, and the people that made these movies with him, decided, hey man, there's a couple of things here. One, if we recast him, that's a heavy burden to put on a new actor to come in, and because no matter what, the internet would be like, he's not good enough, or he's the other one was better. Like, and can you imagine having to go to work to replace Chadwick Boseman? No, the nice thing to do, hang up the jersey and move on. And like, that was a tough call to make, but they just said, you know what? There is a precedent in the comic, like, you know what I mean? Like, there are other Black Panthers who pick up the mantle, and I think if we're expecting, like, if we recast him, all hell's going to break loose. If we don't recast him, all hell's going to break loose. Look what's happening. All hell's breaking loose. Not really. I think it's just a couple of crybabies, but still, it's like, get over it. The movie's done. You should have done this a long, long time ago. If you were going to be throwing tantrums about whether they should cast him or not, it should have been done a long time ago. The movie's already done, so get over it. And I think, hey, they just said, you know what? It's going to cause a lot of drama, not only for the poor actor that has to step into the shoes, but for everyone involved. Let's just move forward. And this is it's a nice way. Even if they do something like have some on-screen funeral or something, somebody at home who's butthurt about not getting their way is gonna be like, they're profiting on this, but that's not what they're doing. They're doing a nod to the great Chadwick Boseman, who unfortunately is no longer with us. So, like, what do you want, man? Like, seriously, I get really pissed when I see stuff like that. I'm like, come on, dude. Like, anyway, what do you think, Curtis? What do you think?
I mean, I don't know how to take this. I really don't, because to your point, I think it's kind of stupid. But so the movie's made, obviously, and they say they don't want an immediate recast. I could see a recast, since they're doing the whole multiverse thing, of a T'Challa, somehow, some way. Like, it is not outside of the realm of impossibility. It seems unnecessary, though, because like, the comics had already had Shuri take over as Black Panther. I mean, years ago. And the movies were going to lead that way anyway, once he decided to not do the role. You know what I mean? Like, if he was probably going to do 3 more movies, at max, and then, was going to move on. So it makes sense to do this now. At the same time, I heard other people saying, like, there's so many good storylines that can't be done now, like him marrying Storm and blah, blah, blah. Well, that's true, but Storm's not going to, it's going to be like 10 years. He would have been out of the picture. Like, it's going to be 10 years before they get, established X-Men characters. She's not going to show up and be like, I'm a mutant, and then marry T'Challa. Like, it doesn't work like that. So, like, the Storm that we meet within, because 5 years could be a young, there's apparently a baby, or T'Challa's baby's being born on the trailer. There can be a time gap. The Storm that we meet can be a teenager. The new T'Challa's kid can be the new Black Panther at some point, and that can still happen. It doesn't have to be T'Challa. It can be this is the MCU. It's fluid. It changes from the comic books, and so like a lot of those storylines can still occur. This is a temporary thing, and it's not this patchwork over this. Like the trailer looks amazing to me.
Yeah.
And like Shuri is like she was one of my favorite things about the first movie. I love Chadwick Boseman, but like Shuri was like one of my favorite things, and she could take over the mantle. I don't think she's going to be, even in the comics, she wasn't Black Panther for, I don't know, like a long time, but like she's for, probably through the end of Secret Wars, she'll be the Black Panther, and then it'll probably change again. Like this is not, I don't know. I don't get it. I understand his role and his portrayal was spectacular, and it made a big influence, but that doesn't mean it had to die with him or the character that he embodied that is dying in the movie. It's just happening. So I might be wrong, but it'll be fine, guys.
I think so too. And it's like Robert Downey Jr.'s Iron Man is dead. Like it's like, but there's so many storylines, and I know he didn't die in real life, but I'm just saying the character's gone. Like they can put an end to the character and pass the torch to his son or whoever. It's an unfortunate thing, and it's funny because people can raise hell, and when you're dealing with something like the death of a hero, a real life hero, to people, he was Chadwick Boseman is an inspiration to people. So when you all of a sudden throw around sentences like "you're just profiting on his death," like that makes people like slam on the brakes and tiptoe about what they're gonna say or do next, and it's like it's crazy.
And to be fair, like they are killing off people in the MCU right now, people that are still alive that could continue the roles. And to be fair, like because of what the road that they're going, they're obviously building young Avengers. Like they're obviously doing that. Okay. To be fair, if Tom Holland died, heaven forbid, blah, 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 they probably would leave him dead, kill him off in the movies, and move on to Miles Morales.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, right now, that's probably what they would do, because they're planning on doing that anyway. Like, that's what I mean. It's already in the plans, so they would just accelerate those plans.
Derek, how you doing, man? Sorry. What do you think about all this craziness? It's
what if
heavy.
Charlie Cox died?
It's a heavy thing. I wanted this to be fun. I didn't know if I even wanted to bring all this crap up because it's like, come on, guys, a bunch of crybabies.
There's just so much toxicity. Everyone complains about the Snyder Cut fans being toxic, but everyone's toxic. So many nerds out there are toxic. Stop hating women, guys. It's fine. And if Shuri was I didn't know this. I'm not well versed in Marvel comics, but if she's been Black Panther in the comics, then it's yeah, shut up. It'd be one thing if they brought in like a completely new person, be like, you
Captain America's
Frank
Black Panther.
Sam Wilson is now going to be Captain Black Panther. What? No, I would understand that frustration. But guys,
I wouldn't be frustrated by that.
Is that a comic?
Captain Black Panther? Give him yeah, that suit would be awesome.
It'd be an awesome suit. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that doesn't exist.
Dude, that would be the suit would be it would be
Black
amazing.
Panther. You got the Falcon wings.
That's what I'm saying.
And the shield.
And the shield.
Like,
that's like a triple
badass.
threat, dude. That's super awesome. Like it was. Oh, it's so awesome with the claws. Yeah, it's like a falcon claw.
Point is,
Talon
she
feet.
exists in the comics. It's fine that she exists in the movie. Just stop. Stop being rude, nerds.
Yeah.
That's all I got to say about it. You guys did a lot of the good points.
No,
Zemo?
it's funny. Yeah. What do you think, Zemo? Do you have any thoughts?
Oh, hot take. Hot
Man,
take,
that's good.
Zemo. God.
Yeah, that was good.
golly. We got to cut that out. We're going to have to cut that out. That's too much.
Yeah,
too
that
hot
was
of a
good stuff.
Got a big head now. The Thunderbolts is coming out.
Well, moving forward, and what time is it? Okay, I'm just keeping an eye on the time. So let's go through some of these.
Keep your eye on the prize, not the time.
That's
On the
right.
prize.
Are you guys excited about Quantum Mania at all?
I don't like that they recast his daughter, but
That's
I'm sure
weird.
there's a
Yeah.
reason. It's just every time. I'm sure that actress is great, but every time I've seen her, she's been an annoying character.
Mm-hmm.
So I hope that they're not doing that with Ant-Man's daughter. That's it.
I wonder if
She's supposed to be a solo, move on to be a solo, like a Young Avenger situation. Like they wanted I think they wanted a more compelling actor to play this role because they're going to turn this, like you said, they're moving the
For
way
sure.
of the Young
Yeah.
Avengers. So they're like, we need somebody who's got a little more chops. You know, this other one played a good child actor, but we need somebody with a little more oomph.
I didn't like the switch either, but I don't know enough to hate it yet. I'm excited because they are, it's going to lead towards Kang. But again, so the big bad is Kang, and they're going to lead that way. But the mini bad apparently is MODOK, mobile organism designed only for killing. Like, that's the name. Like, yeah, I mean, you can't second tier that guy. He's a giant fucking head with little arms and little legs that sits in this floating hover chair, and he's just amazing. But apparently, they're going to. I don't know if this is true. This was based on the leak of the Ant-Man thing that I got off of some other site, and this and that and the other. Rumor is that they're going to make him like a robot, and it's going to be the guy who played.
I heard that too.
Yellow Jacket in Ant-Man 1 that was stuck in the quantum realm or something like that. And it's like, what? He was a mobile organism designed only for killing in the comics. And then now he's like, yeah, it's some kind of robot guy who got stuck in the, like, what? Like, they're just that. And that's what worries me. That's what makes me mad about a lot of Marvel. They're just taking these awesome villains and being like, yeah, we need a villain here. Here, chuck this one in. People know him. And it's like, well, we know him because he's awesome. Wait, no. Oh, they threw him in the garbage disposal. Like,
What's better to not get the villain ever, or to get a?
I'd rather not get him than have some cheap knockoff of him that like
Taskmaster.
I would rather not. Taskmaster, Gore, I would have rather not had him. Save them until somebody can do it right. I mean, again with Fox and stuff properties, that's other people owning the properties. Like, if Sony screws up Craven or Morbius or whatever, like, that's somebody else is doing that. But it's like Marvel, like, beating up on their own kid. Like, you can't do that. Like, that's not cool. Like, you get them right, guys. You know how to get them right. And just throwing them in there to be cannon fodder for just to move a story along about Kang, like, I don't like that. It bothers me.
They keep hiring, casting a bunch of good-looking actors for Madam Web. So we'll see how that one goes. Sony does. Like, all right, Melanie Griffith's daughters. Good,
It'll be like the
definitely good
Baywatch of Spider-Man films.
That's a good formula, though. You're like, okay, we got Tom
Can't get 'em
Hardy. We got a good-looking man in Tom Hardy. We'll just and then we'll just have a pretty good story. But it'll make it fun. I'm like, all right, I'll take
It'll be like everybody will be like, oh, how was it? You got to see it in IMAX. You got to see it in IMAX. Like, what was the story about? I don't know. But you got to see it in IMAX.
Too bad it didn't work with Morbius or Morpheus.
Morbius. Yeah, you're right.
Morbius, yeah. Mobius. We'll see. We're gonna see Mobius in Loki season 2, which is exciting. I don't know about you guys, but I really loved the Loki series.
Me too.
Few people are like, meh, I didn't really care for that one. My favorite was that was one of my favorites. Like, I really liked that.
Right.
I don't know if it's just because I really like Tom Hiddleston and but it was good stuff.
Wow.
That was very good. Yeah.
Secret Invasion. You excited about that?
Only if Daisy or Chloe Bennett comes back.
Quake.
Yup.
Yeah.
I am. But it was like originally they had. I don't know if this is still the premise because I read something else that said that it's different now. But originally it was talking about how Kree soldiers already embedded on Earth and stuff like that, and that's not the comic. It's Skrulls, that are the enemies in the comic. So they kind of flipped it, and I was like, I don't know about that. But then I did hear something about like apparently the Skrulls are, or maybe we don't know. Maybe that's the thing, is that we don't know who the villain is. But in the comic book, it was unbelievably amazing. I'm saying, potential spoiler for however long down the road, Daredevil might be a Skrull.
What?
I'm just saying.
Don't say
You're going to get in 18 episodes, and he might be a Skrull, dude.
Ooh.
If they do it the way they did the comic, like significant characters ended up being killed and were Skrulls.
Where we're like,
and
what?
Yeah. Straight up. You're like, oh my God. I've been like reading this guy for how long? And it was just amazing. And then other heroes came back, and they didn't know if they were Skrull or like the
Come back
Skrulls
from
that
the
kidnapped actual. Oh, but see, that's the thing. Oh, good point.
That's
So in the comics, the Skrulls had just kidnapped a certain number of heroes a long time ago and replaced them with Skrulls, and that's how they made it work. But with the blip and this whole multiverse crap going on, like they might not even need to do that. So you won't know who's a Skrull, who's a hero, and like so all this stuff going on, like whole new series could start, and then at the end of it, you find out they're a Skrull. If they do it right, like man, this could be. It should be bigger than a show, in my opinion. Like this should be the next event, but it's probably not going to be.
From what I'm hearing, like that's what they're gonna do, is that people are gonna, like, people that blipped, that disappeared, they just filled in the gap. Like, okay, there's a hole that we can just be this person now, and I'm like, how cool is that? like you just move in and take over, and then you start living with these people for like 5 years, and then you think you know them, you think it's who you think it is, and it's like 5 years next to somebody, and then and then all of a sudden there's two of them. What? It's gonna, what it's gonna remind me of is Battlestar Galactica. The whole series of Battlestar Galactica, you're trying to figure out who the hell's the Cylon. The whole show, and that's half of the fun, is your favorite character who you've been following, who this one's legit. No matter all these other people, they're like, dude, that guy's the Cylon. But this one, they're legit, and they turn out to be the Cylon. And it's like, it's just a lot of fun. Taking people for a ride. A lot of fun storytelling with that.
And if it's written, hopefully, the way that the comic book was written, the Skrulls that are supplanted for the heroes don't even know that they're sleeper agents. They believe that they were implanted with the memories of the heroes.
Oh wow!
Before they were put, and so like they're like they turn into a Skrull or something. They're getting attacked, and they're like, "What are you doing?" Like they don't know that they're Skrull sleeper agents. They truly believe like that they're Captain America or whatever. Like it was just done so well. Like that they like it was. Oh man, it was great.
The only part of Secret Invasion that I read, I think it was Secret Invasion, was when Deadpool, I think, does he get kidnapped and they want him to make a little army of Skrulls that heal? And I don't know if he gets kidnapped or if he's like, no, I want to work with you guys. So he goes in and gives them his blood so that they can make a bunch of Skrull soldiers that can regenerate. So there's a bunch of like Skrull pools running around. And then eventually they just start like exploding. Because he's like, my healing factor keeps working continuously because I'm dying of cancer, but you're not, so you're dead now. And that's how he wins. It was brilliant.
That must have been.
It was so good.
Issue. I don't know if I read it.
Yeah, it's great.
And it would be awesome if they did that.
Yeah,
but Deadpool 2 won't be able to.
Yeah.
So if they do, man, I'm super excited if they do it right. If they do it, I don't know. I really don't know what to think about this one yet. I got to see some trailers or something before I get excited, or I'm already excited. Damn it.
Well, let's oops. So Daredevil Born Again.
He's a Skrull. He's a Skrull.
You think? Man, I'm excited because I love Daredevil on Netflix, and this is going to be kind of like that. And we just got to see. I really want him to bring back Jessica Jones. I really would hope to see Jessica Jones. I liked her. It's going to be interesting. We got the Echo series is going to be directly connected somehow to all this mess too. And then again, at the end of this featurette, you saw Daredevil show up at the end of Hulk. So Daredevil's going to make a cameo, which makes sense because you got a bunch of lawyers and superheroes. Why wouldn't Daredevil be there? It's going to be fun. All this stuff's going to start connecting together, and I think all this, hey, there's no direction, or hey, I don't know what's going on. I think it's all going to start to make sense now. So, are you like 18 episodes? Why do you think they're going so long with this show?
I don't know, honestly. And it could be, I think we were talking about this a little bit before we started. They might be shorter because I know the Netflix ones were an hour, roughly. So they might have shorter episodes. I don't know. Maybe there's going to be a lot in it that branches out and connects other dots. Maybe they're going to use Daredevil to do that. I don't know, but I'm excited.
Even 18 30-minute episodes is a lot, you know?
Yeah.
Mhm.
For Disney.
Yeah, I hope it's not. I hope it's not 30. I just 30-minute episode just isn't quite enough to for me. Like a good 45 minutes, as long as it's solid, is good. But I'd probably prefer an hour. But regardless, like so we need to see what they're going to do. Like if that's what's interesting about. I was trying to think when the Netflix series got canceled and all that stuff happened, and but like so they could have all been blipped potentially, you know, and like it's that could be the framework of what they're getting back to, you know. So it could go like the first half go back then, and then the second half go into the meat of the story, and ooh.
What do you got now?
The first half is you're following the Daredevil, the Skrull Daredevil, and then the real Daredevil takes him out.
There is no Skrull Daredevil. There is no Skrull. There might be.
There was a Skrull Elektra, and it was a huge deal, but there's no Elektra in the MCU. So
They're going to be bringing in a different Elektra, I heard.
That's a rumor. I don't want that.
No, it is. It's she's a Mexican actress. I can't think of her name right now. But yeah, I read an article. Well, let's find out. I'll tell you right now.
Yeah, there's a rumor that she's getting recast, and I'm like, just bring back the actor if you're bringing back everybody else.
Did you like the
I don't know if they are bringing back everybody else.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Charlie Cox and Vincent D'Onofrio. I read that they were gonna bring back Eldon and Deborah Ann Wool, Foggy and Karen, but again, rumors.
They but they almost have to, man. Like that was. Or that's maybe since he's born again, maybe, and that's the thing too. Like with the other characters, like Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, they could Fist got blipped while he was fighting a dragon, then he blipped back or something and died in a volcano. I don't know. Like they could do all this stuff, but like with you can do a lot of stuff with it, but like I don't know. I really enjoyed those characters. Like they need to, and I'm sure they could recast them. But why?
I mean,
they're not dead. Not to be crass, but they're not dead. Like they're still sitting out there, probably looking for work.
Yeah, and I mean, I follow all these people on Instagram and stuff, and like they'd be down. I can tell by their posts; they're very supportive. Like they do it. They had a good time on the show. I mean, unless they're just putting on airs, but.
Yeah, this is a rumor, but
no.
No. Let's see here,
Derek. So let me ask you this, Derek. If you're super excited for Daredevil, I'm not as excited as you. I'll admit that, but I am excited because it was an amazing show. If they put it back on, and it's hyper Disney-fied and hyper Marvel instead of what it's supposed to be. I mean, I know you'd be disappointed, but would you prefer that they just didn't bring him back, or
No, I don't. I mean, we'll have to see how bad it is. We have to see how bad it is. But at the same time, I don't know. I feel like Daredevil's really underrated. Um, I feel
Well,
like
he's
I feel like
underrated
he's
because
important.
but what do you mean by underrated in the comics, in the movies, or in popular culture?
I don't know. Every time I talk to Marvel fans, and I tell them I'm like Daredevil's like my favorite, and they're like, really? Huh? It's like nobody cares about Daredevil but me. That's what it feels like.
But
like
I
Daredevil.
think it's because, I mean, I mean, among comic movie and probably show fans, like in popular culture, like he's a street level hero, and that's what he's meant for. And so they don't like he doesn't get into a lot of the grandiose cosmic crossovers and stuff because like why and but that's like he does that. That's why I appreciate the character because he does what his job so well, being a street level hero. And like that's again, I think that is what's complete. That was what was absolutely Netflix shows, and that's what's completely and totally missing from the MCU right now is any street level hero, even Spider-Man. Like they brought fucking Spider-Man to space, like like, and he's the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. So like, and it worked. That's fine, but like the fact that if they keep him like that, like he can represent and with She-Hulk and stuff like that, representing and being a part of it in those ways, representing heroes and stuff like that, and as a lawyer, like can work. But I think that's why he's kind of glossed over a lot because he's not even in the comics not a huge part of those events because why? He's like you're fighting Thanos and he's like yeah and throws a stick at him, or his truncheon or whatever, like oh
Yeah.
We got Frogman coming in She-Hulk too. So there's another street level character for you.
Boom goes the dynamite.
I pulled this up. This is the Asa Gonzalez rumor. Reddit source says she'll be announced, and I've seen a couple of things like that. They think that she's going to be Elektra. It seems like
they found a pretty lady wearing red, and they were like, "Hey, here's the new one. There you
go." Yeah, it's all over the interwebs. I would. Who knows if it'll happen or not? But it's Kevin Feige will announce Daredevil, Man Without Fear. Blah 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 blah. I don't know. We'll see. That's the rumor mill story of the day. So we'll get out of rumor mill.
I don't need to. I don't think. Like they just don't need to force her in there. Like whatever they do with Elektra. Like if they recast her, fine. I guess. I like, but just don't force her in there. Like that's. They always. I really liked. What was her name? In Daredevil, the nurse.
Rosario Dawson.
Yeah. Like I liked that dynamic so much, and then like I don't think they need to force like another love interest like Elektra in there like right away because they want the Catman or Catwoman Batman dynamic. They want the Spidey Black Cat dynamic. They want these dynamics, and it makes sense, but don't force it in there. Just like tell a good story and like when it's time.
I wondered if they were going to put Carrie Ann Moss in there too, because she's in the Trinity from the Matrix. She works for that lawyer firm. She's
Jessica Jones' attorney. Yeah,
Jessica Jones. She's like connective tissue for all of those people. So I was like, But man, there's a lot of great stuff. Guys, let us know in the comments what you're excited about. We got Daredevil, we got Captain, the new Captain America, the New World Order, Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four. I had so many topics that we could talk about. We got 4 minutes before I shut it down. So 2 minutes of that, I want to talk about Kang Dynasty. What do you think? What do you think's going to happen with that? Do you think how do you think we're going to lead up to that, and what do you think that's going to lead up to getting us to Secret Wars?
I have absolutely no idea.
Curtis, what do you think? I know you have all the comics at your house right now. You could show us pictures of what you think they're going to do. Can you see now, knowing all of the comic book stories, can you see the little strings starting to connect all these things? Like I see what he's doing now. I think I got it figured out.
To a degree, and they are definitely changing a lot from the comics. But so with Kang, with Kang Dynasty, I don't know what they're going to do with that. There are so many storylines in the comics where that are Thanos level storylines where they are fighting Kang, but Kang is just not just Kang. He's Ramatut. He's I mean, there's so many different names for him because there's so many different multiverse versions of him, and at the same time, so many different timelines of him. Like, so they fight him repeatedly, like throughout all of Marvel Comics. Like, it's just like, who's the bad guy? Oh, well, it's Kang again, but it's some different version of him. So it might be they're going to condense all of those into a movie, and then something happens that leads to Secret Wars. However, the only thing I can say is there have been rumors of them introducing Doom before the Fantastic Four, because Fantastic Four is phase.
Right.
No, Fantastic Four will be in there. So you can't have Secret War without Doom. Okay, so yeah,
Fantastic Four is right
Dynasty.
before Kang Dynasty.
Okay,
it's right.
So that
it.
makes me feel better. Okay, yeah, because I was saying you could potentially replace Doom's role with Kang, but it just wouldn't. Doom is the only reason Doom is a villain is because, let me tell you this right now. Sorry, we're talking about Kang. Let me tell you this right now. The only reason Doom is a villain is because he believes that he could rule the world better than anyone else. There is a Marvel What If issue called What If Dr. Doom Ruled the World? And he rules the world better than anyone else. It's a peaceful, perfect paradise, and then he saves the Earth like from some like he's just like, that's the only reason he's a villain. He's like, y'all are all fucking up. I could do this way better than anybody here. And in the Marvel universe, he does, and he can.
And Kang's using some of his technology, right? Some of his time travel technology to do all the things he's doing anyway.
See, that's what I wonder. I think they're going to bring the quantum bands, the whole Shang-Chi Kamala Khan thing. I think that's going to come into effect for Kang's traveling purposes. Like, I was going down a rabbit hole on that, and we can, but
it's basically for somebody who's not versed in Kang, who doesn't know much about Kang. This is a guy that just traveled through time so much that now there's a whole bunch of different versions of Kang all throughout the variant, basically, of Kang.
They literally fight one another at times.
Yeah, there's so many. I was thinking about that. I was like, if you're like, okay, I'm going to do a whole bunch of things. I'm going to travel through time, and my ultimate mission is this. Okay, and I'm going to do this, and to do that, I'm going to have to go in time here. I'm going to have to go in time here, back in time here. Everything's cool until I change my mind for a second, and I go, hey, what if... No, I don't want to do that anymore. What if I do this? So then I start going back, so then all of a sudden different mindsets of mine are in like contradicting each other and end up fighting each other. Is that kind of some of the weird stuff that's going on?
Yeah, or there'll be a version of Kang that's like, there's like the badass version of Kang that we're dealing with, and then there's another version that's like an up and coming Kang. Like, literally, if they do Young Avengers like the comic, there's a character called Iron Lad, who's like the Iron Man version. They find out that he's Kang, a young Kang that decided to escape his destiny from another multiverse, and he has to fight Kang the Conqueror in their first major story arc. Like, it's like he controls time and space, and like, he can be beaten, but you're just gonna have to fight him again in like 6 months, like, or some other version of him. That's why he was fine with Loki killing him. He was like, "See you soon." Like,
that's wild. Well, and I can't wait. I'm excited. And Jonathan Majors, what a fantastic actor to do that. I mean, like, dude, what did you think, Derek, of his acting chops? Like, when you saw him play He Who Remains.
Oh, I forgot that's what he was called. I liked it a lot.
Yeah.
And then the Western that he was in with Idris Elba, that was also really good.
Yeah.
Loved that movie. But yeah, no, I'm good. I'm pumped that he's playing Kang.
Lovecraft Country, he's fantastic in that series too.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Is a really great show, and it's crazy because he's going to be playing different personalities of himself, but they're all different. So it's as an actor, that's got to be really fun to do that. You're like, man, I get this role where I get have different motivations, my head's in a different mind space. Sometimes I've lived this life so many times that I'm practically half crazy, and then other times I'm a young person who knows what my destiny is and doesn't want to do that. It's a lot of interesting roles to play for one role. So, but
and to get it out of the way early, in the comics, Franklin Richards, Reed Richards, and Sue Storm's son, is Kang the Conqueror. And so if they have to recast or whatever happens and they make the Fantastic Four black, just get over it. Like, it's fine, guys. Fine.
oh yeah. Is that going to be the next recast, the Fantastic Four? Like what now?
Yeah.
It's going to be the rage click people that are like to.
Mm-hmm. What the hell's going on here? And it's like, well, we already introduced Kang, dude. Like,
all right. Well, guys, at home, thank you for watching. Everybody, be sure to subscribe. Guys, do us a favor. Give us a thumbs up if you can. And if you're enjoying this show, subscribe to the channel. If you hit that notification bell, we'll send you a reminder whenever we go on live or whenever we have a new video out. If you want to help support the channel, you can go to patreon.com/ClintLikesEvery. All right. And lastly, if there's something you want us to talk about on the show, message me on social media. I'm the OG Clint Baker on all my socials, but you can find all this information in the description for this video. Anyway, let's get to it. All right, guys. Appreciate you guys joining us and hanging out with us while we talk about all the fun stuff. Gentlemen, it's been fun. It's always fun. And we're going to be doing a thing tonight called Versus. In a little bit, Curtis and I are going to talk about They Live versus Get Out. Two excellent movies where things aren't exactly what they seem. So join us for that, and we're going to see you guys soon. Alrighty? Peace. Yeah. We didn't even talk about Telecon.